Sometimes life can get real crazy and make you believe that you're losing your way. Whenever you feel like this, I want you to look in the mirror and say, I know that I can make it. I'm a child of God, no need to fake it. If my confidence begins to fade, I'll remind myself I'm fearfully made. He's got a plan for me, and that's a fact. So I'm gonna keep on pushing, ain't no turning back. Wait, pray, slay all day, put it on repeat and say, no weapon formed against me's gonna prosper, not today. Wait, pray, slay all day, put it on repeat and say, no weapon formed against me's gonna prosper, not today. Like a pot of boiling water that spills all over your stove, trust and believe that an envious friend's true feelings will eventually spill out when they can't take your level up anymore. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share if you find value here. Let's get this channel to 100,000. I know that together we can do it. I can do it with your help. We can do it together. I also want to say thank you to everybody who joined the live yesterday celebrating my birthday. Thank you for all the happy birthday messages. Thank you for all the cards, all the gifts. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. And my prayer is that we keep glowing and growing as we're moving forward. So let's dive right in. And I want to start by asking you a question. You know, whenever you're learning to cook, sometimes you burn up a few pots before you really get the hang of learning how to cook and becoming a good cook. I know I had, back in the day as I was learning to cook, everything didn't come out tasting amazing. It took a minute, And one of the things you'll notice is when you're making rice, if you put too much water in the pot or too much rice, or you have the stove top too high, the contents inside the pot will eventually boil over and spill all over your stove. And the reason that happens is because your pot was filled to capacity. It was filled more than to capacity, to the point where it could not be contained. That's how it is when you're dealing with a friend or family member whose envy can't be contained anymore, whose envy can't be hidden and shielded. It's going to eventually seep out in the things they say and do. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Let me give you the scripture. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. This is Luke chapter 6, verse 45. And it says, a good man out of the good treasure of his heart brings forth good. An evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart brings forth evil. For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. That's Luke 6, verse 45. So look what it says. A good human being, man meaning mankind, out of the good treasure of his heart brings forth good. So in our heart, we have one of two types of treasure. We have either a good treasure or an evil treasure. A treasure is something that is stored up in abundance. So when you have a good treasure, that means that you have an abundant supply of inner peace, joy, gratitude, appreciation, grace, mercy, compassion, kindness, right? None of us are perfect, but I'm talking about knowing that you are trying to live righteously. You're not out here trying to hurt, harm, and be a predator to other people. You're not out here trying to create all kind of craziness and mayhem in the lives of other people. But just because you're not that way does not mean that you won't encounter friends, family, co-workers who are that way. So a good man out of the good treasure of his heart brings forth good. So when you have an abundance of peace, joy, kindness, confidence, you're going to bring forth that. So people who are in your presence are going to experience your joy, your peace. You're going to be kind. You're going to be a giving person. You're going to help where you can, not letting people take advantage of you, but you're going to be helpful. You're going to be kind because that's who you are. But on the flip side, when a person has a lot of evil in their heart, they have an evil treasure. So they have an abundance of envy, an abundance of greed, an abundance of selfishness, an abundance of wanting to control and manipulate and dominate other people, an abundance of narcissism, right? That's the only thing they can bring forth. An evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart brings forth what? Evil. You can't bring forth good out of evil. And then the scripture goes on to say, for out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So when our heart is overflowing and filled up with particular characteristics and traits, eventually it's going to seep out. So on your level up journey, this is what I'm getting at. As you are moving forward in your goals, as you're moving forward in your dreams, as you're bettering your life in the different areas of your life, be it health and fitness, financial, you have a business, a ministry, you're growing at your job, your career, spiritual growth, you're growing in your prayer life, your sobriety, whatever it might be. On your level up journey, everybody's not going to be happy. Yes, you will have awesome people who are so happy for you and they rejoice when you rejoice. But we're not talking about those people. And what we ought to do is treasure and appreciate those people. But there will also be people who are not going to be happy with your growth, your progress, and as you're blessed. And you're going to see that it's going to come out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And they will get to a point where they can't contain their envy anymore, and they will start taking jabs at you. Have you ever been in a situation where out of nowhere somebody took jabs at you and you were like, where is this coming from? Maybe you were at your job and you are really good at what you do. You're highly respected. Doesn't mean you're liked, but you're highly respected. And people come to you for your knowledge about a particular thing you do well at your job. And here comes Hate and Heather. We're going to give them names. Here comes Hate and Heather or Hate and Hank. And they say something slick and they just take a jab at you. Well, everybody thinks that you know how to do this particular task well, but I think you suck at it. You're minding your business. You're not even talking to them. Your back is turned. And you are looking at your computer and they're coming into your space with their hostility. You're minding your business. See, because their heart is filled with that. Their heart is filled with resentment because you're getting shined at the job. And eventually they get to a point where they can't contain it. They can't take it. And they're going to have to speak on it because out of the abundance of the heart. So that's not something little. And a lot of times we'll overlook it because it seems like it's a small little jab. But for you to get to the point where you take a jab at someone means that your heart is filled with that, right? Think about when somebody is getting on your nerves and you let it go, and then you let it go another time, then you let it go another time, then you let it go another time. And there are different occasions where they keep getting on your nerves, right? And then they catch you on the wrong day and you bark and go off on them. And it's not about that one thing, it's about all 20 things that they did, right? This happens in relationships. This thing get on your nerve, then by the time you talk about the 10th thing that gone on, they're going to get it. They're going to get it. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Your mouth is speaking what was getting on your nerve for months. So don't take it lightly when somebody is taking a verbal jab at your level up. Don't take that lightly when somebody is being mean, dismissive, downgrading, and berating towards an area of your life where you are progressing, where you are gaining traction, where you are succeeding, especially if you're not bothering them. You are minding your business. Like they're coming into your space, you're minding your business. So this is the scenario here. We're not talking about y'all both go at it with each other and you both being mean. No, we're talking about you mind your business. You're doing you and they're coming over to you minding your business. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And what happens a lot of times is because it seems seemingly insignificant when a person takes a jab, because taking a verbal jab is underhanded, unlike somebody just coming out and saying, I don't like you. I hate your guts. And I think that you are stupid. Even though that's mean, I respect you because I know where you stand. We know what it is, and now we know how to deal with each other. But a lot of times a person will befriend you just to be able to throw a jab at you. Or they're already your friend or a family member and they're witnessing your level up and they can't handle it. And they're struggling with feelings of envy. And rather than giving those feelings to the Lord, working through those feelings, they are villainizing you for leveling up and succeeding and making you the best. Well, she thinks she's all that. She tries to make herself more than what she is. For that to come out your mouth means that they think that about you. Well, she thinks she's all that. That means they think you're all that. Well, she makes herself more than what she is. That means that they think you're more than them. Because when you're preoccupied with your goals, your dreams, your life, your priorities, you don't even notice a lot of stuff about. I can't tell you a lot of stuff about a lot of things because I be focused on my focus. So when you're focused on your focus, you don't notice certain things because you are looking towards what lies ahead. But it's them little foxes that spoil the vine, right? The Bible talks about that. We're going to go there in a minute. So let's say, for example, you get a new house, a new apartment, and you decorate it and it looks great. You're excited and you have a housewarming. And you invite, friends, family, whoever you invite. And here comes the low-key hater who you sense tension with, but outright you don't know. And even when you try to address it, like, are we good? Is something off? Because it seems like there's tension between the two of us. No, we good. And you're like, okay, but in the back of your mind, you're like, they're saying we good, but it seems like there's tension coming from them. So you have your housewarming. Everybody is, eating food, listening to music, enjoying each other's company, laughing, just taking in the whole vibe. You're opening your housewarming gifts, whatever you're doing. And here come that hateful family member who's trying to keep their hate under wraps, or that hateful friend. Well, I would never get a green couch with a wood table. I think you should have done a clear table. I think the wood looks very cheap and it doesn't really go together. And everybody's kind of like giving this person the side eye, but they're trying to ignore them because, you don't want to feed into that negativity and you just want to, we just want to have a good time. We really want to engage in your foolery. And you're looking at, where's that coming from? Like, why are you concerned about my couch? Is it your couch? Did you pay for it? Do you live here? What's this got to do with you? I like it. You ain't got to like it. Close your eyes. You ain't got to like my table. And so they don't stop there. Then as you're going on, they're like, I would never put these kind of pictures in my home. I don't like this kind of wall decor. You ain't got to like it. It's not your house. What part of it's not your house do you not understand? And you are minding your business, and you're like, where's this coming from? And so as people are leaving your housewarming, you even have one or two friends or family members say to you, that's what's up with, we'll give them a name. What's up with Cindy? What's up with Cindy? That was weird. And that's they nicely saying, I don't like her energy. But a lot of times people don't really want to get involved in that, but they nicely kind of say, watch out for Cindy. So the fact that other people are even saying that was odd, or they might not even say all that. You okay? Everything's good? They're checking on you because they saw the interchange between you and Cindy. Well, really, Cindy firing shots at you. They're like, you good? You okay? All right, well, let me help you with the dishes. They're trying to do something to just kind of lighten up your mood. That's because they caught it. And this can be in any scenario. So we're using the new home. Maybe you got a new car. Maybe you not only have a full-time job, but you got a side hustle. You do hair well, or you're a handyman, and you make money helping people mount their TVs on the wall and do paint jobs, right? Lay down carpeting, whatever you do. So you make extra money doing that in addition to your full-time job. So that affords you to get this new car that you have always wanted. Or maybe you don't have a side hustle, but you're an aggressive saver. You don't eat out. You cook at home. You don't buy coffee or tea out. You do all the little things that you can do to really think about how you can aggressively save your money. And that has afforded you to travel to a place you've always wanted to go, to get the kind of car you wanted to get, or just to have a cushion for a rainy day. And here comes that friend or family member taking jabs at you. Well, I wouldn't have got a car like this. I think this car is too showy. You ain't got to drive it. It ain't your car. Why are you worried about it? Well, I would have never went to the Caribbean for a vacation. I would have went here instead. Okay, well, do you. Enjoy your life. Take your vacation to the places you want to go. I want to go to the Caribbean. That's where I'm going to go. You go where you want to go. Do you, I do me. I mean, life is really that simple. But because they want to get in your space and bring confusion, because the Bible lets us know that where there's envy and self-seeking, there's confusion in every evil work. That's what the Bible says, right? Where there's envy and self-seeking, there's confusion in every evil work. This is James chapter 3, verse 16. James chapter 3, verse 16. So you will notice that they bring in a lot of confusion into your life unnecessarily, because that's how they feel. They can't hold that bag of envy any longer, and that's why it's coming out of their mouth. And what we want to begin to do as believers is not dismiss and override what the Holy Spirit is showing us about an individual, even if it's a friend you've known for a long time or a family member. You're going to have to move differently with that person. Whether you choose low contact, no contact, whatever you choose to do, but you're going to have to move differently. Because where there is envy and self-seeking, they're going to bring you two things. They're going to bring confusion into your life, and they're going to bring evil works. Taking jabs at you, is that good? Taking nasty jabs at you, is that good? If it ain't good, there's only one other option. It's evil. Trying to make you feel low, is that good? Well, if it ain't good, it's evil. Gossiping about you, throwing mud on your name, these are evil works. Especially when you're minding your business, focusing on your life. But they have a problem with your progress. So I want to give you an example in my own life, and then we're going to close out. And why it's so easy to dismiss, excuse me, when these little things happen. So, the Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 15, let me get some water. Chapter 2, verse 15 says that it's the little foxes that spoil the vine. And one of the reasons little foxes spoil the vine is because little foxes don't seem like they're that big of a threat, because it's not a big fox. And so it's easy to overlook a little fox and feel like, oh, they can't do that much damage. Look how small it is. But in reality, little foxes do spoil the vine because they keep nibbling at what it is you're trying to grow. So if you're trying to grow your confidence, you're trying to grow your fitness journey, you're trying to grow your business, you're trying to grow your savings, you're trying to grow whatever it is you're trying to grow, and a person keeps taking little jabs at you, what happens over time is it erodes. It erodes the things that you're building, like your confidence, your inspiration, your motivation. Excuse me 1 second, let me get some water. Because it doesn't seem like it's that big of a threat, because the person may not be being overtly nasty, right? So it's still like a hint of meanness, but it's not so aggressively mean where you catch it. So if somebody was like, you so stupid and I hate you, that's aggressive, right? That's a big fox. And you notice that right away, and you see that that's a threat. But if a person is more subtle and crafty, it's harder to see the seriousness of the threat, that they're nibbling at what you're trying to build. So the Song of Solomon 2:15 says, take us the foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vine, for our vines have tender grapes. I'm going to give you one other version. That's the King James Version. I'm going to give you the Christian Standard Bible. It says, catch the foxes for us, the little foxes that ruin the vineyards, for our vineyards are in bloom. So when something is in bloom, it hasn't come into the full ripeness of what it's supposed to be. And so a lot of times, as you're building, as you're growing, as you're progressing, as you're leveling up, you're blooming, but you're still on your journey. And a lot of times the enemy will use people closest to you to stop you from fully moving forward in the things that you desire to do for destiny and purpose. And you got to be able to catch that. So let's normalize coming out from among people at the first sign of evil, ill will towards you. Let's start normalizing that, coming out from among them. And if you can't do it physically because it's a roommate and your funds don't allow you to do that, then do it emotionally by guarding your heart. So I'll give you a quick story from my own life. So I have met up with a old friend that I have known for many years. Someone I thought was a friend, would probably be a better term. who I've known many years, decades. And we had met up a few years ago, right, to eat. And when we met up, she was very fixated on the earrings I had on and the watch, to the point where she wouldn't let it go. And so she was like, wow, you know, those earrings are she didn't compliment the earrings. She said, those earrings look really expensive, and that watch, and, you know, how much did that cost? And I was like, why? And she said, no, because I know you, and I know that you wouldn't have bought that for yourself, so who got you that? And I was like, why? And she was getting frustrated because for every question she asked me, my answer to the question was why? Why are you asking? And so she was like, no, I'm just saying because, you know, we're going to give her guy a name. So we'll call him Craig, not his real name. She said, yeah, because Craig was going to get me a watch just like that. But I was like, no, I could never accept something like that because that's too expensive and I would never want to take advantage. And so what she's trying to do subtly, see, this is a little fox. She is trying to get me to go on the defensive so I can be like, oh, no, this is what happened, but I'm not going to explain because it's not her business. And so I said, oh, my answer is, oh, you get vowels from me. And when I begin to discern something, I will make a mental note of it, but I won't tell you that I'm discerning that. And then I'll just shift how I move with you. So as I began to notice that she was so fixated on the earring and the watch, like it was really bothering her, as if I did something to her personally, it wasn't a good thing, right? So our food came, and I was like, okay. And then she brought up the subject of my YouTube channel, which she claims she doesn't watch. And we don't talk about that. I hadn't seen her in years. So we don't talk about like my business, my ministry, you know, and so forth. And so it was odd to me that she brought that up out of the blue. And she claims she doesn't watch it. And she has said, with all that advice you've given out, I don't understand how ... right? And so with all that advice you've given out on YouTube, I don't understand how ... And I said, that's interesting. I said, because I thought you didn't watch the channel, so how would you know the advice that I give out? And so she had to think about what she was going to say. So she was like, no, I'm just saying I heard. And then she went on to say, I said, yeah, but for you to even hear about what my YouTube channel is about means that you had a conversation about the YouTube channel. Even if you didn't bring it up, you entertained the conversation about the YouTube channel you claim you don't watch. I said, so that's a little odd to me because it's not like I put a gun to your head and forced you to watch the channel, or put a gun to your head and forced you to talk about the channel. So you are not under duress being forced to watch the channel. So because you're not being under duress, I don't understand how this is problematic for you. She caught an attitude. Because most people don't like when you back them into an intellectual corner and there's really no way that they can get around it, because you're basically like, I peep your whole card, I see through the BS, and what we're not going to do is you're not going to play in my face. And so she was like, girl, let's just change the subject. I said, okay, that's fine by me. And so we ate our meal. And I had made up in my mind, see, I don't need to have 20 bad experiences with you. I'm at the point in my life, at the first sign of foolery, I'm out. The first sign. I don't need 20 red flags. At the first red flag, I'm bouncing. And I was like, okay, this is a friendship that I don't want to invest any more time in. You know, we've had history, and I'll always treasure that history, but she's not in a place where this is going to work for me. And she was bothered by my growth. Now, how do I know this? Not just based on what she said, because remember, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So her mouth wasn't just speaking to me. Her mouth was speaking to other people about me. And it got back to me. And she was basically saying, I don't know how she got the earrings and the watch, and who is she seeing? Like, she just assumed I couldn't do this for myself. And I know how she is, and she probably got a sugar daddy. And I was like, she's throwing mud on my name? Like, this is nuts. Now, the other person who came back and told me, I'm leery of you too. but I thank you for telling me. And she had no idea of the watch and earrings, and she had no idea we went to lunch. So I know that the other person said it. So we'll give the person a name. We will call her Lisa, not her real name. We'll call Lisa the one I went to lunch with. So she had no idea I was at lunch with Lisa because I didn't tell her that. And she had no idea about the earrings and the watch. So that meant that Lisa had to call her or meet up with her, shortly after. And was very fixated on wanting to know how I got the watch, the earrings, and fixated about my channel. I think her channel's not that great, but the thing is, that's okay. You don't have to think it's great because you're not my target market. And you're not being held by gunpoint, being forced to listen to it. So that is really nuts for you to keep coming back to a place you claim you don't like. That's like me saying, I'm trying to think of a food I don't like, but I don't like a particular food. But I keep going to the supermarket, buying, cooking, and eating the food I claim not to like. That's the definition of insanity. If I claim I hate this food so much, then wouldn't it make sense for me not to eat the food that I claim I don't like? It's just not making sense. But when a person is in a space of envy, is also, and this is what you got to be mindful about, they also can become very obsessive. Think about Yolanda and the singer Selena. They can become obsessive where they always want to be around you and they always want to know what's going on in your life so that they can feed off of throwing mud on your name, starting rumors about you, saying negative things about you. They want to have something to work with. They want to know where you're vulnerable so that they can strike with where you're vulnerable. They want to be able to be in your space so that they can know how you move, right? So there is a degree of obsessiveness that, and we'll do a separate video because this is worth being a separate video. There's a degree of obsessiveness that comes with envy. You ever wonder why the people on your job who are envious of you are always wanting to talk to you? Or if they don't want to talk to you because they're trying to isolate you, they want to go out of their way to be nasty. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. So when I have no love for you, and I do walk in love, but I don't have love for a demon. And so when I don't have love for you because you're a demon, I'm indifferent towards you. You're like paper blowing in the wind. So I'm going to be situationally aware if you're in the vicinity. But I'm not going to be diverting my time and my energy towards you because I got too much to do in my own life. But do know that when you are dealing with someone who is in a demonic envy space towards you, that oftentimes there's a level of obsessive intrusiveness of wanting to know what's going on in your life. So don't be shocked by that. And it's interesting because with this same individual, right, I'm already the type of person where I don't really divulge a lot of what's going on in my life, even if we're very close. I don't divulge a lot of what's going on in my life, and I don't like a lot of company in my home outside of my family. So I have funny ways, right? I'm very selective, and I have very funny, people will say funny ways, and I don't care how people feel about that. And so I already operate like that. And so it's interesting because, as I said, we hadn't seen each other in years. And I would never invite her to my home. And now that I look back, I see that there's a reason. And the reason was, on some level, I didn't trust her. But I didn't want to believe the worst because of the history that we had. But I still had protective mechanisms in place. I'm not special. This is for you. I'm going somewhere with this. So look at your behavior with certain people. And you will find that even if you didn't verbalize the words, I think they're hating, or feeling tension, watch how you move around them. If you notice that I'm exceptionally guarded around this person in a way that I'm not guarded around person B, what's that about? That's going to tell you that your discernment is kicking in. And you are operating from discernment even if you can't verbalize it. Because a lot of times we're not taught these spiritual concepts in a way where they're broken down tangibly. But you will notice by way of your behavior that you move different with certain people. that you're extra cautious. Why are you cautious? You're real cautious about what you say. Even when they ask you, what do you think about so-and-so? I really don't know. And you do know, but you won't say that to person A. But person B, who you have a level of trust with, you might say, well, this is how I feel. There's a reason you're moving that way, even if you've never articulated. So step back and begin to think about the people. And this can be long-term friends or so-called friends. This can be a family member. And you notice, why do I move a certain way? Why am I like that? And it's probably because on some level you don't trust them. And it could be that you're seeing how they move, and you just did not come to the full realization that it's time to cut this person out of your life. But there will be signs, that's what I'm getting at, that will clue you in that you need to keep your distance from certain people. Because when a person is filled with envy, they're going to strike out. Just how the person struck out at me, and they were so upset about my earrings and my watch, as if it was personally slapping them in the face, bothering them. And they were taking shots at the channel they claim they don't watch. It's going to come out. They're not going to be able to contain themselves, even if it's subtle. But it's the foxes that spoil the vine. And I knew right then and there that was the last time we were ever going to see each other. And I didn't say that to her. I just moved different. So do know that God equips you with discernment. And when you begin to observe that a person is taking verbal jabs, that's not coming out of no place, because out of the abundance of the heart, their mouth is speaking what's in their heart. Don't unsee what you're seeing. Don't unsee what God is showing you, even if it's somebody you deeply care about. Don't unsee it. Then be prayerful. God, what's next? What do I do next? How do I handle it? And trust that God will guide you and order your footsteps concerning what to do in that situation. And if you want to do deeper dives into topics like this, where we really go deep with strategy and tactic, join the Wednesday Wellness Club. Join the Wednesday Wellness Club. It is a therapeutic group. It's like a combination of a therapeutic group and group coaching. You get both of it. And we meet twice a month by telephone conference call. And we focus on well-being, self-care through a biblical lens. And you will definitely be blessed by being part of the Wednesday Wellness Club. So it is a feature that comes with being a member of the Cassandra Mack YouTube channel. When you click on the join button, there's also a link in the description box. You'll see that there are different tiers of membership. So make sure to select the tier where you see the Wednesday Wellness Club, so that you can have access to those club meetings. I also want to let you know about a couple of things that are going on. So I have a new song. It's called Wake, Pray, and Slay. Wake, Pray, and Slay. If you were at the live yesterday, then you heard the song, and it's an inspirational song that just reminds us to keep moving forward and to keep going towards our goals and our dreams. It'll definitely bless your life. So the link to get the song is there if you'd like to support our music ministry. I would also encourage you to get the book Rise Above the Haters, because that journal is going to help you develop hater-proof skills. Rise Above the Haters is available at Amazon, and the second book is Unleash Your Unstoppable. So when you have haters trying to throw shade, throw jab, trying to kill your dreams before they grow, Unleash Your Unstoppable is going to help you become unstoppable in the things that God has for you in this season and the next. And that book is available at Amazon and Barnes & Nobles. So with that being said, have an amazing day. A lot of you ask if I do one-to-one coaching. I don't do a lot of it because my schedule doesn't permit me to do a lot of it. But I do have a few openings. So for those who are interested, go to the video description box. You will see a link that says book a one-on-one, and you can see the availability that I have if you are interested in booking a coaching session. So with that being said, have an amazing day. Take care of yourselves, and let's do our best to be kind. It's a lot of evil in this world. It's a lot of mean people in this world. We don't have to be one of them. We can choose to raise the frequency. We can choose to move forward in the things of God. So with that being said, talk to you soon.
No matter who you are, you will have haters. John 15 verse 18 says, if the world hates you, know that it hated Jesus first. So if you have haters, know that God is greater than your haters. Lately you've been feeling the weight of your haters coming at you with their envy and their hate, scheming against you, throwing mud on your name. But God's gonna work it out despite their lies and game. God is greater, so much greater than your